In step number 1 of our accounting cycle, we began with business transactions and analyzed them in terms of our accounting equation to show the accounts affected and the amount of change. We then can check to make sure our accounting equation is in balance after each transaction. In step number 2, we translated our business transactions into journal entries. Here is our journal entry for transaction number 1, and here is our journal entry for transaction number 2. In the third step of our accounting cycle, we are going to post transactions. When we post transactions, we are actually copying each piece of our journal entry to T accounts. So you'll see that I've completed the posting here for you. We start with cash. Cash is on the left side of our journal entry. It posts or is copied to the left side of our T account. Spencer Capital account is on the right side of the journal entry. We copy or post that to the right side of the Spencer Capital account. Equipment is on the left side of our second journal entry. We post that to the left side of our equipment account. Our cash is on the right side of our journal entry, and we're going to post that $20,000 in cash to our T accounts. Then we're going to calculate our ending balance. So for cash, the $35,000 minus the $25,000 gives us a balance of $15,000. In our equipment account, we have a balance of $20,000, and since it didn't change, it stays at $20,000. And the same applies for our capital account. $35,000 applies down to our $35,000 account balance. You will also notice that now we can tie back our account balances. So after our 2 transactions using our grid for the accounting equation, $15,000 was our ending balance in cash. $15,000 is our ending balance in our T account. Equipment, $20,000 was our ending balance. $20,000 is our ending balance in our equipment T account. And $35,000 was our ending balance in our capital account. $35,000 is our ending balance in our capital T account.